server deciding if you actually killed someone. So what they're doing instead is, like the people you see, it's gonna use prediction, right? So like the higher your ping, the more like the server has to predict the difference of ping between you and the other player. The more it has to predict, like, okay, we think he's going to continue going right, so it'll draw a frame him going right, but then when it gets the information that he's not going right, it flips it around to left, but a couple of steps the other way. So that's why it doesn't look as smooth.
You guys still have me? I think I'm like bugging out. You guys still there?
Like, except for when you get no regs and all that, and hopefully that's going to be fixed. Like, I'm not a programmer, and I hope they fix that, but they have to fix that whole thing. Like, has to be smooth. The rest of it, what else is there to fix? Like the menu system, like not bonking out, and like the rest is peanuts, you know?
Am I back? Can you guys hear me?
I mean,
Yep,
yeah, I
you're
can hear you.
back.
Disconnect.
So like, let's say the pet peeve of the game would come with hit registration, and am I right? Like it's that part of it.
Hit registration and netcode, yeah.
So, and that's supposed to be in the next patch, some improvements. Now we don't know if that's going to be a big improvement or if it's going to be bullshit. We haven't tried it yet.
But
I mean, lately
I think
bullshit is on the list.
You're expecting
so...
bullshit, I know. But what I'm saying, just let me finish, is if they do get that part right, let's say, the rest of the stuff seems to me to be simple to fix, and it's a lot of map making, and you know what I mean?
All right, so then within a couple months, I should be seeing everyone coming back, and I will too. Like,
right. If let's say they got it right, if that's what everyone's pissed off about, yeah, they got to get that fixed, and probably people.
It's way more. It's way
ahead.
more than that, though.
Okay.
It's so much more than that. It's
the
fact.
What are the other things?
Regardless of how the game runs right now, or how it runs in 2 months or whatever, even in a week, this game has alienated a lot of the people that used to play this series, and a lot of people that I know that I go to LANs with every year. They will never load the game again. Just like what Everest has gone through, where he's saying, "I'm never gonna play." So, what they did incorrectly was they did not continue to develop the game at any kind of rate. And by the way, when you say all this stuff about like the ping compensation and all this shit, why does it work in 99 and 2K4 and then you can't do it here? Within, by the way, 3 years.
Because they're trying a different method of doing it. If they did the exact same thing, then you'd have the whole problem.
Well, there's actually a lot of backstory behind that. There's a few different developers that are no longer on the Epic staff. That's number one, because they got fucked. And there's also people that used to help out. One being Lotus, who, if I'm not mistaken, created the ping compensation for 2K4 outside of the development staff of Epic. So somebody actually, and then the zero ping mod and the netcode compensation that happened for you. That happened.
Right?
What's that?
It's called NewNet.
NewNet was by Lotus, I believe, and
Temper.
And then the Timber. That's the guy that made it for UT99.
Okay.
Which was created like what? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, for a game that came out in '99. Also not on the Epic staff. But like, what do we have to look forward to? You know.
Plus, I don't really agree with the whole peanuts thing that you said, Endorphin. Like, look at I don't know if you ever played Battlefront. Great game. It's a great game. Runs super smoothly. But what happened was everyone ended up leaving because there was like 5 maps in the whole freaking game. So everyone got bored, and then there was like no updates. So, like, the developers have to constantly be on the game, otherwise no one's gonna give a fuck anymore. Trust me, most people, when they come into a game, especially if they're new, they're not gonna want to put in nearly as much effort as, you know, devoted fans to the series. Like, we as like series fans have put in so much effort to deal with the crap that this game and the developers have given us. Like, why should we have to suffer through that? Because we're hoping that they might actually do something with the game? Like, no, I'm not gonna waste my time doing that. I'm sorry. I'd much rather, you know, not be
Okay.
pissed off when I'm playing
Come
the game.
back once it's in a shape that you like, you know.
I mean, I'd gladly do so if people that I trust are actually enjoying the game and say that it's good. Like, that I'd be perfectly fine with that. But
Well,
I mean, until then,
let's put it this way. So the European scene's been going, and that's awesome. I'm actually happy about that. I'm happy that this has a little bit of life. If the European scene wasn't going, there would not be any players in this game. Like almost.
Well, when I showed
none.
up, when a bit before like I first met you guys, the European scene had like 1 pug a day. It was everything was dead.
Right, and so
Okay.
they've had 2 decent patches since then, correct?
No, no, I arrived after the last patch.
granted though, you came right around when summer break was starting to end. So a lot of the people that are coming back now are just coming off of summer break. Like, they didn't leave the game because they hated it. They were just busy.
I guess like all I know is there was 1 pug a day, and sometimes like it was really really dead. Like when there were 2, it was a big day. Now it's like, at least as you say on the European side, it's rock and rolling. We're starting on the North American side a bit, you know, the smaller scale, starting with 3v3s and stuff like that. And you know, you're uninstalling, so it's probably going to set back a bit. And,
I mean,
But,
it's gonna set back a lot, certainly,
Yeah.
because it's even on the weapons side, since that's where I come from anyway. At least North American weapons side, people came back to this particular patch because they did a bunch with weapons. And what I've been playing, or you and I came back the same night, right, Everest? So, how long have we been playing? Like 3 weeks or something,
Something like that.
if that.
see, I've been here probably a month then.
And
Because
okay,
I was just before you guys arrived. It was like,
and so the reason why people came back to check it out was because of the patch. Is my point, and almost all of my weapons buds don't play anymore. Already. And we're talking about, like, we literally put, like, we all show up to QuakeCon and our tag is 2K4 CTF because we all came from 2K4. The last time that we went to a LAN, and so this has been what, a year and a half at this point, or well, almost 2 years now. The last time that we loaded UT4 at a LAN, never. That's alienating the people that give a shit about your game.
it's like I don't know what to say for the community that left. Will they reinstall if like
Got it.
there's an influx at one point and the game does get better, or will they like hold a grudge? That's anyone's call. Some people are gonna go either way. But-
I guess to Everest's point, or maybe to my point, I won't speak for Everest. To my point is, why 2 years of shit?
You know, the other game that I play, Elite Dangerous, it got released like when it should have still been in beta form. A lot of people got pissed off at that. And it's 2 years now that they released it, and now finally patch, like the stuff that they're putting in is stuff that people wanted way at the beginning. So it took 2 years after release to get a lot of interesting stuff that
Yeah,
people wanted.
but this is
Yeah,
totally
facts.
different because they were probably under, you know, pressure from whoever was, you know, sponsoring them and providing the money. So they were probably under pressure to release the
They
game.
kickstarted it, and they're self-published, like it's Frontier Developments.
Right, but Epic has
I'm
money.
Okay.
Epic has
yeah,
money
Epic,
though.
yeah, Epic has money. So what you're saying is that a next to nobody developer was able to make a successful game over 2 years, while Epic, who's been around for years, hasn't been able to make a successful game in 3 years of development.
They got a shitload of money for Paragon, if I'm not mistaken, from Sony, correct? Pretty sure from
Yeah.
Sony. They got a fuckload of money as a studio to pump into not only, obviously, Paragon, but you can allocate funds.
Gears of War as well. So maybe all their top guys are working on that stuff. You know, maybe, and they don't want to like hire new people to do UT because they want to do it themselves. They just have to schedule it in.
I mean, tell that to tell that to the 10-man staff that shows up to work every day, making their money for fucking UT. That's a hard one to swallow right there. We don't give a shit about you guys.
But I mean, think about it though. If they do become more successful with the other projects that they're doing on, why should they give a fuck about UT? Like, why?
I think that's
I
what
mean,
you're
the
seeing.
community's already small as hell, and they are doing nothing to help us out because we've been telling them what to do. They don't care. They've just been working on other games. They have like 6 people that come in every day, maybe take a look at UT, and don't do anything with it. I mean, that's why I don't expect anything. Like, it's been going on for so long. They're busy on other projects. They have been pretty much ever since this game started. So, you know, why should I expect any different? Like, granted, like if they do actually, you know, get off their ass and actually do something, I'll gladly come back. But
that's the problem though, and that was my point earlier that I was trying to make was there's new hats and all this fucking shit coming directly from Epic, and there's like weapon changes that are asked by the community, and then a new patch comes out and the weapons sound like shit, and like, well, for even just Instagib, the fucking sound of that rifle that I have to hear every time I shoot it, I want to shoot myself.
Fine,
Why,
secondary
like-
fire. That one doesn't do
Yeah,
it.
that one has a bit of a better sound.
Well, that's beside the point. I know what you're saying. I mean, there's stupid little things in the game, like they want to put sort of things around your crosshair that show you that you're going to die in so many seconds or something like that. You know when you're going to fucking die. You don't need all that shit around your crosshair. When you pick the flag, you don't need a big graphic of a flag coming up over your crosshair. You want it to be fucking clear so you can see somebody to fucking shoot.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to shoot you as soon as you pick your fucking flag up. You don't want a big graphic appearing
Well, and
over your crosshair. That's just basic stuff they shouldn't do.
well, and it's funny that you should say these things here, what you're saying, which is correct. All this fucking shit, right? The funny part about that is one of my good buddy friends that lives in North Carolina worked as a tester for Epic Games, and he brought all this shit up, and they fired him.
Really?
Correct. They fired him. In fact,
Sounds
in
like
fact,
the one,
in fact, a QA person thought that it was almost a hack that he hid his weapon, that he hid the weapon on the screen so that he could have more of a screen. They thought that was almost like a hack when he did that. Indeed, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we always had the user in here, and we could always do whatever we wanted with it in there. This is a lot more difficult to do anything you want.
Correct. And well, and then the hub system, holy shit. What do you have, fucking 3 million players playing your fucking game?
Yeah.
I think those little graphics you're talking about, that's part of the new trend of trying to make things accessible to people so people understand what's going on. But fuck, if you don't understand what's going on in the UT Instagib capture the flag, you're fucked anyways.
Yeah, it's any of the games. I mean, once you play these games, it's in your fucking head anyway.
Yeah.
You know how long your fucking armor's gonna last. You know how long your fucking weapons are gonna last. You know all that shit. You don't need crap cluttering up your screen telling you.
Or at least have the ability to disable them.
well,
Yeah, you can with that cluster of stuff around your fucking crosshair. I've done that, but
right.
the flag that comes up when you pick the flag up, that's the biggest fucking gripe to me.
Well, and then here's one of my biggest gripes is there's no skin. There's no way to change the enemy skin. I am horribly red colorblind. So if I play a FFA game, I'm fucked. If there's any kind of brown or red in the background, I'm just fucked. Especially on Instagib, I have to kind of go from just like movement. And they have, again, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't want to go on some fucking weird whatever, but they've been said that they do not want to make bright skins for UT4 because they want it to be quote-unquote more fucking realistic.
Yeah.
The colorblind thing, that usually every developer gets around to putting that in, don't they?
I mean, usually. Although Overwatch is as really bad as it is, so Blizzard kind of fucked up on that one, but...
There's a few things that Blizzard has fucked up on with our...
I mean, certainly, but I'm just saying, like... So, I mean, not all developers get it right, but... Considering you meet these people, and you say what's up, and who gives a fuck, right?
But yeah, like with the stuff that Broken Soul was talking about, like just the simple stupid stuff about the crosshair. You know, when they were doing the stream about talking about like why they did all these changes, they said that it was because people did not have time to look at their HUD while they were playing, like, so they wanted it all to be focused around the crosshair so that they could see all those, you know, necessary things to see. So, but what I'm saying is, how can you be a competitive player and not know all those things, like how low your armor is and how much armor you have? Like that makes no sense to me. So like really, you're making adjustments for competitive players, but they're really for noobs. It makes no fucking sense. No sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, that flag thing, like, if you don't know that you have the flag, I'm sorry, you're dumb. Like, the whole basis of capture the flag is to know where the hell the fucking flags are. If you don't know where they are, you're not paying attention. You're not doing the game right. Like,
Yeah.
Just as a parenthesis on that thought, there was a stream today by JT that was on Mesmerize, and Nymade, he jumps down to the enemy flag, thinks he picked it up, but he just missed it. And he's bolting out high from Mesmerize. He's following him all the way back to his base. He jumps onto his flag and slides.
I saw that, yeah.
He didn't have the flag, yeah. It was funny.
And that's even with the graphics that they have. Like, so, I mean, really, what they're doing isn't even helping to begin with. But I mean, that's his fault. Like, if you don't have the time to glance up to see that you have the flag, like, that's on you. Like, they shouldn't be trying to fix that. Like, that's a player error right there.
Yeah.
And another thing, when you look through the fucking map, you can see them exclamation marks and things. And some of the times, they're in the wrong fucking place for where you want them to be. You don't really need to see that crap.
What do you mean exclamation marks?
You know, where the flag is and which direction the flag's in and all that sort of thing. In 2K4, you used to be able to press a button and it used to light up your path.
Right.
Yeah, this, you can actually see where the flags are located through the map, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, we don't need it. It's just more clutter that you don't need. You don't want a red exclamation mark on your screen or something like that.
I just don't understand why they didn't just recreate either 99 or 2K4 with better graphics on this new engine. Would have worked just fine, I think. All the same shit that we're all used to, you know, whichever one you come from, right? Like, even UT3, I never played UT3, but I was told not to buy it by the competitive clan I was in at the time because it was shit.
Because it's crap, yeah. It's a crap game. I tried it for like 3 hours. I absolutely hated it.
I still never bought it. I've never installed it, and I have also never played it even on LAN on anybody else's machine.
Yeah, I've got it. I played it a few times. I played it competitively a few times, but that was it. It was no good. The maps was far too complex. Too much stuff on the screen.
It'd be theoretically possible to do exactly what you're saying just by making a mod that has like either new net or zero ping, and at the same time that it sends a command to every client to predict 0, meaning no ping compensation. So you'd be right back to that.
I mean, somebody's going to make that mod, and hopefully they make the money instead of Epic when that happens. off of
How
said
do
mod.
they make money from making that mod? People just want to use it. But
Well, at the end of the day, when you code, right? Like, a lot of logistics in there
it's on
anyway.
your
But
resume.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, even, you know, Skyrim, that's a game that I still play that's like 4 years old. There's still people that make
Oh,
mods
yeah?
for that, and
Well,
yeah.
I use the tetrachromatic,
What's that?
the ENB stuff.
Oh,
Ever
yeah,
try
yeah,
that?
yeah. Yeah, I have.
Have you tried the tetrachromatic one?
I don't think so.
It's awesome. It's the best one.
I'll have to try it. But like what I'm saying is like even modders that are, you know, working on a game that's 4 years old, like they're getting the props for that. Like, and you know, if you're a really good modder that's well known, you can still get, you know, paid for, you know, the mods that you make.
Yeah.
There's definitely something wrong with it at the moment. I mean, I play a lot on this North American one, and I'll play about 4 or 5 games, and it'll be great. Then all of a sudden, you cannot hit shit.
Yep.
They're
Yeah.
right in front of them, and you shoot him 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and you can't hit him, when normally you can hit him with one shot. You just can't do it, and I don't know what it is that's happening when it's doing it. You had it the other day at Endorphin, just before
Yeah.
you left,
Yeah.
when you was on a Euro server. It's not like that all the time, is it? And then all of a
No,
sudden,
sometimes it's smooth and you can't even tell that you're on a Euro
and then
server.
all of a sudden, something just drops out, and you can't fucking hit anything.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. Put your fucking head in.
I think it's something that's buggy with the predict. Like it's because like the people are all moving differently.
Yeah. Well, what is it like? Is it hit scan or something?
No. It's you're being thrown off by the server drawing a person going left and then suddenly changing its mind because it realizes it's an error, but it got the information late. And suddenly the guy's right, but he's not right from where
Yeah,
he
desync, right?
left. Yeah, it's kind of like mini warps all over the place. So like
It was
it's
yeah.
hard to
It was like H1Z1. I don't know if you played it all or any of you, but
know.
yeah, there were for a long time. They called it desync. I don't know a lot about it personally, but it's just like that where it registers just exactly like you're talking about. Like somebody can be behind like a fucking tree, and if you keep shooting next to that tree where they just went, sometimes you just get a headshot and you just kill them.
Yeah. So hopefully
Very frustrating.
that's something they do fix, you know.
But I think
I know it's not the only thing, but
yeah, just even more that. Well, just coming from weapons anyway. The weapons are still in a bad place. The sounds are absolutely trash. All the shit on the screen is fucking terrible.
Yeah,
you
there's-
have
and
read
that's
the
way too many
patch notes,
problems.
so I think they're
That's
doing
3
weapons passes. I don't know if it's what you're looking for, but
Well, yeah, they've got a lot of stuff that they're working on with the weapons, but I mean, every time that they come out with new stuff for the weapons, it's still crap.
Well, I was talking to Linoleum, a buddy, weapons CTF guy, just the other day, and he was even agreeing that even though the weapons are decent right now, they've even just in the last patch they got way better. 2 years ago they were better. They were in a better place actually. And then I go back to the fact that I really feel like the developers are making the game that they want to play. I don't think they ever give a fuck about making money off this game, and I think that's the problem.
I think that was the issue to begin with because they made this you know, a community developer like co-op development thing, but like instead of it like the community and the developers actually working together, they're just kind of doing their own thing. Because they can, because like they're not under like any kind of contract or anything to make this game. Like they're just
Yeah.
doing this,
Consider,
you know.
Considering that when the community outreaches, I mean, I have buds that got banned off of the forums by by just getting pissed after patch. Where
Exactly.
Where they got banned because they were like, hey, didn't we say this? Like the community said this, and then they just get pissed and it's like, oh, you're fucking banned. okay, let's ban some more fucking people that give a shit about your game and your franchise.
Right. That's exactly what happens. That on the right, RZE, he, I think he's banned probably 3 or 4 different people from the forums because he said that all it was flaming, like flaming at the developers. I'm like, no, no, that's not flaming. That's telling you guys what you need to be doing, and
It's
rather
what-
than actually talking with them, and actually trying to figure out, okay, I do understand what you're saying. No, rather he would just like ban them, the people that actually know what they're talking about
yeah,
in the community.
positive input.
Right?
And then,
Yeah, and like,
they're not listening.
right? No, I've seen in the forums people that get banned, and like they don't even word it like to the point where it seems like they're raging. Like they worded it like respectively and everything, and they were still get like banned or like their forum post was deleted or something like that. Like you're not even willing to take any recommendations from the community. Why the hell did you call it a cooperative operation? Like why? Just
They might have their own ideas of like they might think that people making those suggestions are okay, like a part of a small minority or whatever. It's if they're making the game with all the graphics around the crosshairs because they're trying to tap into the accessibility market, like how Call of Duty was, things like that. Which is
okay,
scary
but
because I hope they don't.
okay, but why try to make this game like other games when the game
Those
itself,
other games are selling,
like,
right?
but the base game, like we've been talking about, like even with basic mechanics of the game and the net code and all that stuff, like the most basic stuff is still crap. The weapons are always off balance. Like the people that know what they're talking about when they give these suggestions to the developers, they're the ones that are getting told, no, we don't want to hear anything from you. Go away, leave the game, we don't care. Like
But-
what is behind the mentality
But-
of that? Like
And considering that this was going to be, and could have been for the last 3 years, the only relevant arena shooter other than I guess Quake Live, and so then Overwatch came out, which it was not an arena shooter, but it killed UT4 at least in the NA scene for a while, well, for like 4 or 5 months. And now we have Quake Champions that's going to come out, and it's going to destroy. It's going to destroy this game again. Like, when do you? What the fuck?
yeah, I just don't see this game going anywhere.
The
Yeah,
only,
no,
the
yeah,
only
very low
competitive,
now.
the only
Very
competitive
low.
scene that's going to happen in the near future, which is happening right now, is the European, especially the either the dual scene is decent, and then the Instagib scene, which is nice because I guess I get to load this game and I get to play on European servers at 110 ping. I guess that's just a thing, but that's really, I don't know.
If the Europeans get a 5v5 going, like a 5v5 tournament or cup or whatever, I would definitely reinstall just for that, even if the game is still crap, just because it's something competitive and something worthwhile, even if the game is crap.
I mean, the pugs are getting better too. There's a lot of new people, and like even when I started pugging, it was probably like a pretty bad deficit on the team. It's slowly getting better, and like I think like over time, like if they do fix, but they have to fix the basics. But I'm not in as much of a rush because I wasn't around for 3 years. Like that's a long time. I agree. It's frustrating.
Well, in more than the 3 years, though, regardless of that, is that 2K4 was a damn good game. And by the way, is maybe not quite as active now, but it's still actually active. Unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, fortunately, right? Both.
Yeah, I played
And
it.
so-
a bit. I mean,
And so we're talking about 12 fucking years. Like, and then you go and trust Epic to make this awesome new arena shooter, and then 2K4 is still more active, at least on the North American side. Certainly on the North American side, 2K4 is still more active. only on pubs, but still more active. It's just sad. It's like, what the fuck? Like, honestly,
Heard you that
if
time,
like
info.
truthfully, fire those 10 people and stop UT4 altogether, and let's go make mods for 2K4. Holy shit, you know, like.
Yeah.
Worse engine.
I would still play
worse,
2K4 to be honest.
Worse. It's a worse engine. It's worse graphics, but it has so many better things. And Avarice, to your point, which is the non-reg and all that shit, 2K4's new net is incredible. I can play on a EU server. I can go play right now EU and play just fine. At about 100 ping, it feels awesome. The net compensation is really good.
Yeah.
But hey,
gonna
maybe
release the patch tomorrow just because you uninstalled tonight.
The sad thing about that is, then a few more of my buds will probably that played 2K4 forever. They'll probably load it and they're gonna be pissed about another menagerie of things, and probably uninstall as well. It's just sad. So once again, they're making the game that they want to play in-house. And I guess have fun on LAN, on studio. Like, they have some nice-ass computers, at least. They run that bitch at like 250 FPS because they have those 250 hertz monitors from fucking Europe.
Yes, because we all know
can't think
we
of
all
what they're
know the
called.
eyes can 250 FPS. Our eyes cannot even register.
No,
probably more
I
than-
realize that, but you do see it is smoother, like regardless.
Then again, like a server tick rate. What are the server tick rates at?
I don't know what standard is now.
Because let's say it's 60, then you're only gonna see 60 different position changes per second, anyways.
I think they're 120. I think is standard right now, but I'm not positive on that.
On tick rate, because that's a lot of load for the servers.
They got servers. Like again, I'm not sure, so I don't know.
It would have to be like E-Rock, you know, his home computer is running the NA server, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think you can manage 120 tick rate. You need a pretty damn strong CPU. Maybe he does have one. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next patch. I hope it improves stuff. And I don't really care about insta-game anyways. Like, I don't never play weapons at all. But I hope it's good for weapons too, to grow the community.
So on another note,
Yeah, just heard you now. You're still low though for me.
Yeah, you're pretty low. I can hear the info.
let me try to fix it.
That's
Yeah,
better. That's better actually.
That's better. Is the mic up at your forehead?
He was
I didn't
scratching his
change
butt with it.
anything.
All right. Well, I'm out for tonight, guys.
All right, I'll help Info. He has a computer issue. Let's fix. Hope to see you again. Hope it's not for forever, Avarice. We'll miss you. We like playing with you.
You're already left.
All right.
He's frustrated. He should be.
I get that. Same time, like, if he didn't show up when he did, like, I find it asking so much. Like the first 3v3s, like it was a one-man show, you know. And everybody else was getting better because of it, like Abby, Death Teacup. which is good to have good matches, because that's the only way you can really practice in this game too, is the pugs.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was our clan before before Overwatch came out. Essentially, our clan was well, Info, Avarice, me, C Diddy doesn't play anymore, Frez doesn't play anymore, Poto Sniper doesn't play anymore. Stack, he plays still.
Yeah, Stack's good.
Yeah, we used to have in-clan scrims.
Yeah, I mean, even before that with Nox, I mean, we had Mech, we had a bunch of people. We ran the damn community, and we got alienated. Well, not alienated, just shit didn't happen. Nothing got updated. So there could be another like 20 fucking people right now, and I don't think any of those 20 people are gonna reinstall the game. Like maybe ever.
And that was the peak of it. Like, how many clans were there? Like in the last 3 years, like was there ever like a really big?
There was like
base?
5. I think there was like 5 clans. There was THC, Omniscient, XC, which was us, or Nox. Both we were Nox and then XC. We kind of like split ways. We kind of like split in half, more or less. And there was at least 2 other clans. Oh, there was Synergy. I think there was 2 other. There was like 7 clans-ish, 6, 7 clans at the peak of at least at the peak of the North American competitive Instagib community when it was at its peak. I don't think it was bigger than that ever. And we had pugs going at that point too, because we started an IRC channel for it, and we had at the peak info. What did we have, like 6 or 7 pugs a day?
I don't remember.
Well, I mean a lot anyway.
Yeah, so they never pushed it yet. Like I didn't even know it was out. There might have been some articles, I missed them. At one point, once the game is, I guess, close to a ready state, then they PR it. Like they'll.
Well,
you should have a bunch of, but then it's going to be a lot of newbie players, right?
Well, and that's the interesting thing, is that a couple years ago, the event that they held, the CTF weapons event, that was when they got their biggest influx, if I'm not mistaken, of new players. They got a lot of new players, a lot of new unique players coming to the game, and that was really where that was the PR for a second. But they did it so early in development, and we're now 2 years later, and not a lot of great things have happened, really. I mean, it's way better optimized, certainly. The game looks way better, at least the maps do, because, well, they've been worked on a lot. And the movement's changed a bit. I mean, but how long? I mean, don't you have to shit or get off the pot at some point?
Well, that's the thing. Maybe they're like, they're afraid to do any type of PR until they have something that they're proud of, that works. Like maybe right now, like they have this, they're not able to get that bloody ping compensation to work correctly the way that, in theory it's supposed to work. And maybe that's holding everything back. Because it's a new piece of tech, no one's ever done that before exactly the way they're doing it. So they either have to say, okay, we're going to give up on this and go back to the, tried and tested zero ping or NewNet, or they keep trying to fix this, and then eventually, let's say they do fix it, then boom, they can set everything in motion. It's kind of like, let's say you put your house for sale, you're not going to let people come visit it until it's all, redone and you fix all the little bugs.
I mean, no, and
But
I got you. Like,
it's just a long time. I get it. Like 3 years. Fuck.
The thing is, at this point, there's only 2 or 3 people that I even played with a few years ago, as it was, that even still play the damn game. And among those people, well, among all the people that I know who came from 2K4 or even 99 at this point, because UT99 is still semi-active as well. It's just like everybody just gives up.
Not a lot of people like to play betas or alphas, you know, like people expect the finished product. And, you know, even if it says alpha or beta or whatever you want to call the stage of production, when it's not polished, a lot of people will say, fuck this, you know, like until it is. Because the other games out there they can play that are polished, that are finished, you know. But the problem is there's not that many good games. Like, what other shooters do you play?
Well, I play many shooters actually. But what I was about to say was, so why fly like 18 to 20 people out to Epic Studios? One from Russia, several from Europe, and then a bunch from North America, and do a big PR stunt a couple years ago to promote your game, and then keep the motherfucker in pre-alpha for this long. And by the way, I'll go out on a limb and say of the 20 or so people that were there, probably 18 of them would agree that it was in a better state then than it is now. Because of all the dumb changes that have been made and all the crap that's gone around it.
You know, it could be that they're thinking the ultra competitive, you know, elite players, people that like, you know, what do you call them, Division 1 type of player that want the game.
Sure, elite. Yeah, I got you.
Maybe they're thinking that's such a small percentage of the overall market that they're better off making a game for, like, you know, if they slow it down, make it easy for everyone, you know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean, but the interesting thing is that these are the players that drove their whole what they stand for as an arena shooter.
Right.
These are the players
based on pure skill, right? Like that's what UT was about.
Yeah, it is. Certainly, yes.
And I hope they go the way of the you know, elite player, because that's what's fun for someone who just gets it. You get your ass kicked like crazy at the beginning, but you can work your way up to being competitive and getting better and better, you know, and that's
There's
the whole
supposed to
drive,
be a learning curve, certainly, yes.
a big one too. Like
Yes.
it shouldn't be
Yes.
like fuck, I played for 2 weeks and I can, you know, be
Correct.
even with everyone else.
Yes.
That would be shallow.
And that's the whole point of an arena shooter, the thing that they're trying to make, hopefully, in this game, right? That is the whole thing, is that it's raw dog. It's like, you either hit or you die, and that's it. And so, yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know. I've been on soapbox for a while, sorry, but...
Yeah, so it's fine. Like, look, I agree with what you want. I think, like, I don't know much about the weapon side, but I agree with what Broken's saying too. Like, those icons, I think I put my opacity so low that I don't even notice them anymore.
Yeah, I think I have them off. Not in spectator. I'm actually spectating right now. I think I have them off though in game. Everything I can turn off, so I'll just get out of my fucking face. Other than my weapons bar at the bottom when I am playing weapons, because, well, and they finally put it down at the bottom where you can put it at the bottom now, versus they made this new game and changed it, unlike every other UT, and they put it on the right side of the damn screen randomly. And now it's back to normal, like in one of the, I don't know which patch. I mean, I stopped playing for 6 months at one point, so.
I know even Broken agrees with you about the back shooting. It should be legit in 5v5s. Like,
it's just
it's
an arena shooter. I mean,
yeah,
shoot shit. There's and by the way, that whole mentality, it comes from, if I'm not mistaken, UT99. Well, I think it comes from UT99. Somebody at some point made up these rules where, and it's also a predominantly European idea, because in North America nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, what it is some of them play with such slow mouse speeds and such low FOVs, you can't do 1/8.
Right, and so too bad, right?
They just go in for the accuracy of the shot. They can't spin round and shoot somebody. They can't do it. You'd have to pick the mouse up 3 times.
Right, no, I know, yeah.
That's the people who are driving it.
Right, yeah, well,
It's
yeah.
not the people who have mouse speed at a speed where you can do 180s and flip straight round and shoot
Correct.
somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
They don't like it because they can't do it.
right.
They
yeah,
can't, they're not accurate enough to play the game unless they've got a really, really slow mouse speed and really, really
and so they're pissed
low
off.
fob.
They're pissed off
They're
because
pissed off
they
because
yeah.
you spin round and pop them.
And so too bad for them, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
an arena shooter. Like, fuck you.
You've got to find the sweet spot where it all works. Everything,
Correct.
including spinning round. There's nothing wrong with spinning round and shooting somebody, in my opinion. In fact, it's
I agree.
fucking skill.
Well, and at the end of the day, with the whole like don't backshoot, it's actually a lot of times it's actually detrimental to get 2 or 3 kills going across mid, even if you
Definitely,
can. Even if you
definitely.
can.
I
You're gonna meet
understand
them
that.
back in
Yeah.
their base.
And
That's
so
it,
and so
yeah.
and so when they get mad about it, it's like you realize that you just respawn and fucking kill me in the face then, if that's
Yeah,
your
but
fucking
they
problem.
Also, it's because there's also like, let's say you get killed and you spawn in your base, and then you shoot them in your base, and you're not part of the 2D. Well, then you get messages saying, attack instead of defending, blah blah blah.
Yep.
You know, I think you make rules like that are that vague. It just creates drama, like because people in every pug are saying, hey, less back shooting, please. You know, this guy's back shooting and all that. You're not allowed to do it, otherwise you get flack. But at the same time, people do bend the rules so much that it's aggravating. It's either one way
Right.
or the other. You know, like you can't have
Yep.
can't
And
be that
then
murky. You know.
and
Yeah,
then
well, if it was that bad, they put it in the game that you can't shoot somebody in the back.
right,
Yeah, I
right,
agree.
exactly. It's the game. It's the fucking game. Correct.
And if
No,
you if you listen to the intro on UT99,
Leandry.
as I've said before, it's no holds barred fighting. It doesn't say apart from back shooting.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, bud. You're right.
Let-
You're correct.
Let's
Yes.
let's just make fucking rules up as we go along because we don't like it.
I remember even like in North America, when we were doing the pugs, there was back shooting all the time because it was 3v3s and no one had a problem with it. And then when we first got our first 5v5, people got pissed at me because I was helping the defense out and things like that, even here. You know, and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, and
You know,
it's incredibly hard, having been one of the main admins 6 months ago before I did quit for the North American Instagib community. It's incredibly people got mad at me. They're like, "Oh, these motherfuckers are backshooting," and then other people are like, "Well, it's not being enforced, or it is being enforced." And what I'm gonna do at this point, first of all, I'm not gonna admin because screw that. But I'm just gonna continue to shoot pixels on my screen when I see there's pixels that I need to shoot, and I'll take the bans that come with it. If and when said thing happens.
Yeah, you know, as long as it's like I see everybody, when on Mesmerize, someone's across the map, even though they're behind where you're at, they're shooting them, right? So that's happening all the time.
Exactly.
But
Yep.
if
And
you
people get
actually,
pissed.
like,
People get
turn
pissed.
around and no, actually,
Yeah.
for some maps, like if you look at that one, no one says a word for that. But if you
Well, it's
pass
so
them
open,
on the
right?
same
But yeah.
side, as soon as you pass them on the same side, then it's no, you can't, because as
Right.
Broken's saying, that's a full 180 or whatever.
Well, yeah,
know?
and it's people. And I've even had people tell me they're like, "Well, it's an honor rule. Like, once you pass each other in mid, you go and I'll grab your flag, you grab mine." No, fuck you, man. It's an arena shooter. Like, if I can whip around, which my current sensitivity is 5 inches for 360,
Yeah.
and so I can, by the way, whip around. I'm gonna whip around. I'm gonna shoot you every fucking time, every single time I can.
The problem though is that if you're the only one doing it, then it's an advantage in the sense where a lot of people, like, you know what I mean? Like then it ruins it unless everyone can do it.
I guess people need to start working on their changing their sense, right?
Tech noobs, like people for the first time, it said it would be way too hard for them if there was DMing in the middle, but every time a new player is there, they're the ones doing it because they think that's the way you're supposed to play.
Yeah, they see the pixels, right? I mean,
No.
Yeah.
So I think it's more like, as Broken saying, it's It's a self-serving type of thing.
It's well, you know, they say like you're an arse, really. Now, I never chase after anybody. I can jump up, spin round, and carry on running backwards in the direction I'm going. So I'm not chasing anybody.
Right. Yeah. You're just shooting.
I'm just shooting.
Well,
I
you're
mean,
too
if
close to
somebody's
my base for comfort, so I'm taking you out so that they don't have to have 3 attackers at the same time. I'm just weeding, you know?
I
That's
mean,
valid. When you
they
see 3
should-
guys
and
coming, you want to trim it down a bit. They can deal with 1 or 2.
they should be able to watch their own backs anyway. I mean, if somebody shoots at me and misses me, I'll spin around and shoot him.
Yep.
You know?
And then you get called out for it, right? And I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been there when they called out broken for, and I personally never had a problem. Even when you're in a pug with me broken, I know I'm gonna watch my back a bit more, like because I know you're gonna get me, and you know that I'm not gonna be pissed. You know what I mean?
Well, I've been playing since fucking Quake 1 online,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't suddenly change
Yeah.
my tactics because somebody says,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've made this rule up. We've decided this. Not the game's decided it. We've decided it because we have
Maybe we
very
can
slow
push,
mouse speeds."
Maybe we can make a push to at least for the North American side to get rid of that rule for the 5v5s. Like, did you guys like the way the 3v3 was? Like, people were doing their utmost best to shoot anybody anywhere, right?
Oh, I mean, certainly. I do that in 5v5 anyway, even though there is a rule right now, if I'm honest.
But you don't chase after people.
I don't chase.
Chasing
No,
after
I don't.
people.
I don't
lame.
chase. It's
But
just
doing-
lame. It's just yeah. That's just.
Doing what is fucking skill.
I mean, certainly, yeah. No, I don't get to middle, and I'm an offensive player, right? Usually, anyway.
No, if you're,
I don't.
if
I
you're
don't.
in a,
I don't get to
if you're-
middle, and I see somebody going to my base. I don't turn the fuck around and start like charging him, and like
no,
until I
no.
kill him.
No, but
It's
if
a whole
you're-
other
if-
deal.
Yeah, if you're in a firefight with somebody, just because they go past you doesn't mean
You
to
keep
say
fighting.
you
Yeah.
can't flip around and shoot them.
Yeah. And sometimes it ends up in a 1v1 for a second. It happens a lot, actually. Sometimes because you know if he gets back, or sometimes I'll go ahead and if he gets far enough past me, I'm obviously once again not chasing him. I'll just go get their flag. Like I'll just continue about my business, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll call it for my team. Hey, he's coming in right, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll go about my business and.
And
But
if
there's
you do
also
it
the
and you
rule-
run past them, they're just
Yeah.
gonna shoot you in the fucking back. So
Yeah.
you know,
There's another thing. You're not really allowed to in the middle of the map DM and just stay there and keep DMing. You have to advance. You know what I mean? It's like you're on rails. Like you can't.
Well, and it,
well
not
that's
really.
no, that's another thing. If you're defending and your base is fucking secure, like I push up.
you move up, yeah.
I push
you're-
up.
People
You've
got
got to
essentially-
for that.
push
eh?
up.
People
You've got to
flack
give
for
them
that.
cover when they're coming back with a
Yeah.
flag.
Yeah, you're
So-
essentially a mid player at that point, right?
Oh,
So
look,
fucking shoot.
when the flags are out, all bets are off. Then there's back shooting and spawning and all that, you know. But like when the flags aren't out, even I've seen defenders on Mesmerize up like almost at the other clan's the other side's midpoint, DMing there. And since they're defenders, they're allowed to shoot everything. And that got a lot of uproar too. Like people were like, "You can't do that. You got to stay near your base if you're defending." Until
I mean,
the
yeah,
flag is-
they need to just shut up and just play the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Well, like if ever there was a time to change it, it would be when either the only way I could see where this could be overturned in some way would be if the NA scene got rid of that rule and said, look, we all want to play the way we want to play. So, and then if the NA scene grew enough, and because it had that rule, there were more players coming into the NA, then it could get changed on the other side. But right now, like I brought it up like when I first arrived, like, don't you find that's a bit like open to interpretation? And you're always like, there's always people complaining in every pug. Everyone's complaining about back shooting.
Well, even what was the girl earlier? What's her name? I can't think of her handle.
Eva.
Eva, yeah. Even she said at one point she was on, I think, a team of mine. It may even been when we were playing the threes. I think it was
Yeah.
Fives.
Yeah.
I think it was Fives actually. And she said sorry to somebody, and I was like, "What are you saying sorry for?" I was like, "I hope you're not saying sorry for back shooting. Just fucking shoot, man. Just do your thing. Like, don't be sorry. Screw that." And I'm gonna continue to quote unquote back shoot until I get banned, and then I'll get unbanned as I will typically, whatever. And we'll go about our lives.
At least it's a heads up. If ever I'm on the other side, I'll know that that's what you're gonna do. So I'll be careful.
I mean, yeah,
Which is
but,
fine with me,
but I'm not
as
gonna,
long as
I'm
you
not
don't
gonna,
complain,
I'm
right?
not gonna chase. Is my point.
Right.
I'll fight you in mid, whatever. I'm not gonna chase you back to the unless our flag's coming in or something weird, you know, whatever. And that's the other
Oh,
weird thing
yeah.
that people say, and they're like, well, but what about when this happens? And it's like, just play the game, please.
Yep, exactly. I mean, look at maps. Some of them are like little passageway things, and some of them are like open maps. Like, look at Wootabolis. You can't do anything but back shoot on that.
Yeah, sure, yeah, super
If, you
open.
play,
Certainly.
if you're playing a 1v1, and you're both going across the map, fucking turn round and shoot each other. You don't want them picking your flag.
Well, that never gets played in a pug, does it? You know, and not in a 5v5 anyway. So publics and 3v3s,
Wait, so, hey.
2v2s, they back shoot all the time. Like, in fact, like the rules only stand for the 5v5 as far as I can tell.
But they don't stand at all because I still have yet to see anybody get banned ever for back shooting. So I mean the quote like the rules. I mean whatever that means. I guess.
Yeah, I guess if you don't mind, like everyone saying, "Hey, fuck," you know, blah 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 all the time.
I mean I don't care.
Info, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to get to your PC stuff? Did you download those things?
Yeah.
Are you fading or what?
Am I what?
Fading, like are you falling asleep?
No.
Okay. Maybe you guys would know he's getting slowdowns on his PC
Yeah,
during the game.
I asked before if he had a Radeon, because I was getting exactly the same thing on mine. It's a bug on the Crimson software, whereas the fan doesn't speed up to full speed, and I was
Okay.
getting surges.
Right.
It's like fast and slow and fast and
Yeah,
slow.
it's the temperature
Yeah.
throttling the GPU.
Yeah, and all you do is pull this slider right across to full,
Yeah.
so it's
Well,
100% all the time, and that cures it.
Yeah. So you can do that with the MSI Afterburner if you want to test that right away. But what I do in the MSI Afterburner, if you open it up, did you install it?
I don't have AMD.
No, this is for NVIDIA. For me, I have NVIDIA. He was talking about the problem he had on his AMD happens in a lot of cases. Like what happens is if the fan isn't going fast enough when it needs it and the GPU gets too hot for a certain period of time, it'll throttle itself back. So it's basically like, what's your graphics card again?
1070.
Okay, 1070. And when it's throttled, it'll feel like a fucking, 250 or something.
Gotcha.
So open up MSI Afterburner. I'm opening it up at the same time. Okay, now do you have like two panels or just one panel?
mic doesn't work when I have the program maximized.
Okay.
I have a version. I have the beta version of Afterburner.
Okay. The version I have says 4.2.0 on the bottom right of it.
I have 4.3.0.
Okay, so you have a later version, but that's fine. They all access the same thing, anyways, pretty much. So you see like MSI Afterburner, then you see core voltage, power limit, core clock, memory clock, fan speed.
Where am I looking?
When you open up MSI Afterburner, you have a panel that pops up, right? It's like a square.
Yeah.
Okay, on that, you have settings at the bottom right, I think. And just confirm.
No, settings is in the middle almost.
Oh, okay, so it's a completely different look, right? Okay, one sec. Let me find the same program then. I'll update this one. That way we'll be on the same page. An update button. Okay, you have a beta one. Let me see here.
Just dropped out. He's back.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah. You're back. Okay, I'm downloading it from the website. Did you get it from the website? Like MSI, gamingmsi.com?
Okay. Got it from side website.
Okay, you're really low again for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Okay, I just downloaded it from the website and it is 430 beta 14. So I'm gonna install. I'm gonna get rid of this one.
Hello, hello.
Yep, I hear you.
Am I still low?
You're okay now, kinda.
'Cause I'm on
You're
my
lower than
phone.
usual though.
I'm on my phone, that's why.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna install.
Hello? Hello, hello?
You're cracking me up with your hello.
Hello.
I don't know, I thought something happened. I thought
I'm about to lose it with your fucking hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Arms. Right, I'm gonna get off now anyway, guys.
alright.
Thanks for the games and the chats.
Yep, you too, man. Good games.
Yeah, have fun. See you later.
Morning time.
Yeah, it's 8:01 here. Time for bed.
Alright.
See ya.
Hi, bud.
It's saying Discord will be undergoing scheduled maintenance on October 19th. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm back. I'll uninstall MSI Afterburner and install the one you have.
Okay. So I do think my problem went away, but then it came back.
It's probably if it is temperature, it could be very intermittent. Like it happen only in certain cases. Okay, it's installing. Oh wow, it changed, eh? Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, let me see. Settings, okay. The little gearbox settings, click on that.
Yeah.
Okay, now the tabs at the top. Is there any way to make this window bigger here? Done. Doesn't look like you can resize this, but okay, I have to use the little arrows on the top right. Okay, let me see, on-screen display, no, that's not it. Monitoring, see the monitoring tab?
Yeah.
Click on that. Now, the part where it says in the middle there, graph and properties, and you see all these check marks?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna uncheck GPU power. GPU 1 temperature, keep checked. Do you have GPU 2, GPU 3, or is that only because I have Sly?
I only see power. It doesn't say GPU power. You see GPU power?
Yeah, I see. Just uncheck power. You don't need power. But do you see GPU temperature anywhere?
Yeah.
That you want checked. GPU FB usage.
GPU usage?
There's vid usage. Yeah, okay. Look, just start with GPU usage for now. Total usage.
Like that?
Yeah. So basically uncheck them all except for GPU temperature, GPU usage, the bus stuff will uncheck all the rest of them. Keep scrolling down though. And GPU fan speed, check. Uncheck everything, keep unchecking until we get to CPU temperature. Now you can uncheck the 1, 2, 3, 4 if you have multi-cores and just keep the CPU temperature. It'll give like all 4 of them type of thing, like in one reading. Same
Okay.
thing with CPU usage. Uncheck 1, 2, 3, and 4 and just keep the aggregate CPU usage. And keep RAM usage checked. Broken, do you want to do this as well, or you?
Broken is gone.
I think he
Oh,
went
he's
to bed.
gone. Okay, I missed it. All right, so you have that done. There's no apply button on this, so you just say OK. Then reopen settings.
Go back into settings.
Yeah, because there's somewhere where it's gonna say where you can have a pop-out window on the side, like that'll always be open, and that's the thing that you're gonna keep open when you play the game, and then you can come back and see like the history while you were playing the game, like what all those settings did, you know. And especially after, if you get like a slowdown, just keep playing until like the slowdown is finished.
We'll be right back.
And
Alright guys, I'm taking a break at least for probably 30 minutes. I've been on for a bit. So thank you so much for tuning in. Anoon, Death Leon, and Copy. Appreciate it, but I'm taking down the stream for a little bit. I need a break. I'll be playing something in a little bit. Probably Overwatch or something, I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe more UT. But hit that follow button, appreciate it. Other than that, catch you later.